Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is me from Progressive Model School. My subject is chemistry for class 9th. In the last lecture we have learned about noble metals, their netness of noble metals that are especially gold, platinum, silver and copper, and so far we have discussed about their uses. Now today our topic is non-metals and electronegative character. What is the difference between metals and non-metals? We will go through several differences and their electronegative character. We have already stated that metals, they have electropositive character, and when we move from left to right, this electropositive character increases, so electronegative character increase, electropositive decreases and electronegative character increases, which makes a clear difference between the metals and non-metals. So metals are electropositive elements and non-metals are electronegative elements. Let me tell you about metals and non-metals in the periodic table. Here you can see leaving hydrogen from group 1a, all other elements are in blue color, showing that they are all metals and they are placed at the extreme left side of the periodic table, and at the extreme upper right side of the periodic table there are placed non-metals. Among these non-metals, this group 8a is of inert elements or noble gases that do not undergo any type of reaction because they have their octet complete, so they are not able to undergo any of the reaction. And this is group 7a that are called halogens. We will discuss why are these called halogens. Group 6a, 5a and 4a. So you can see that in between these metals and non-metals there lies a borderline of green color elements. These green colored elements, they are not metals, not non-metals, they are in between. So these metals, they are known as metalloids because these elements have many of the properties from the similar to the metals and some properties similar to the non-metals, so they are lying in between. They are not purely metal and not purely non-metal. So non-metals, first basic difference between metals and non-metal is that metals, they conduct heat and electricity, so they are the good conductors of heat and electricity. But the non-metals, they are elements that conduct heat and electricity poorly, are called non-metals. So non-metals do not conduct electricity, and I have shown you the periodic table. So where they are placed, they are placed in the upper right portion of the periodic table, except hydrogen, because hydrogen has one electron, so it is placed in the group 1a elements. And the second difference is metals, their existence. Metals are generally solid and their surface is shiny, lustrous, and they can be transformed into various shapes. But non-metals, they are generally gases or dull brittle solids at room temperature and exist as solid in the room temperature. Specialty is only in group 7a, where bromine is a non-metal which exists in the form of liquid, that is, it is present in the liquid state. All other non-metals, they exist in the gas or solid. Now metalloids, again these 5 to 6 elements belonging to various groups, group 3, 4, 5 and 6, that are in between, these are called metalloids. There are several elements near the borderline, as you have seen that there is a clear difference between yellow and blue color. There lies the green color elements that are known as metalloids. They have mixed properties of metals and non-metals, so they are called metalloids. But leaving metals and non-metals, metalloids play an important role. Metalloids are very, very important in our daily life use, as metalloids they have role in the modern electronic materials. For example, we have very appliances at our home like computer chips, solar cells, our batteries, our motherboard chips, our various our electronic machineries. They are these have silicon or germanium chips used. So we can say that metalloids are also very important other than metals and non-metals. So now the important property of metal is their electronegative character. So when we discussed about metals, it was they have the tendency to lose the outermost electron. Alkali metals were losing one electron and alkaline earth metals were losing two electrons. So they were electropositive. But the metals have the tendency to gain electrons and they form anions. So this tendency to gain electron is called electronegative character. Why they have electronegative character? Because when we move from left to right in a period, the size of the atom shrinks. Due to this decrease in size, atom gets strong attraction between the nucleus and the outermost electron. Due to greater number of protons, attraction becomes much greater and much stronger. So they can easily control their one gained electron. They can easily make bond with that electron, and they are able to make bond, and they are stable with that, which is very important. Now what are they doing? Normal state they exist as X, for example. So let's take us that it is gas gaining one electron, they form anion, whereas metals form cations. So what is the trend of electronegative character? On moving left to right, tendency to gain electron increases. Why this tendency to gain electron increases? I told you that due to the smaller in size, as size decreases from left to right in a period, size decreases and their attraction increases, so electronegativity increases due to increase in nuclear charge and decrease in atomic size. What is nuclear charge? It shows that nuclear charge, that electronic cloud around the nucleus is dense. It is effective nuclear charge that tends the non-metal to attract the bonding pair of electron or to gain an electron to make its octet complete. So the trend in the group, down the group, electronegativity decreases due to the increase in atomic size. When we move from top to bottom, size of the atom increases, so electronegative character or attraction toward of nucleus toward the valence electron somewhat decreases. And there is another thing, when we see halogens are the most electronegative elements in their respective periods. Why halogens are most electronegative? I have told you that these have their octet complete, so they do not undergo any type of reaction. So when we move from left to right, electronegative character increasing, and at the last these group have the greatest electronegativity, so they are better able to undergo different reactions and they can attract various bonding pairs of electrons and become stable. So they have the acidic properties, because we have already seen in our first topic that metal oxides are basic in nature, whereas non-metal oxides, they are acidic in character. And as we move from left to right in a period, basic character decreases and acidic character increases. So that was all about your metals and non-metals. And in the next lecture, you are going to discuss reactivity of the halogens, and then we are we will discuss the exercise of this chapter. So thank you. Hope you have all concepts clear.